Hello, hello, good morning. Hello, hello, good morning. Congratulations, retail shrimp. You got first again. Yippee, yippee. It's so awesome. It's so awesome. You're so fast. Hello, good morning. Hi, Ryan. It's Sonic. That's not good. I'm afraid if that's a reference to something, I'm not really familiar. I don't know ball. I hope you're all having a great day. My day's pretty good so far. It's a little warmer today. It was super cold yesterday, but today's pretty nice. Today's pretty nice. Did you guys do anything cool yesterday? I went on a walk even though it was cold. So that was kind of awesome. And I ate a bagel. That was pretty awesome. I started watching a show called Severance. I think I'm on like episode 4. It's really good. It's really good. More it's more interesting than I thought it would be. It's a reference to Sonic Says from the old 90s Sonic cartoons. Oh. Yeah, I never watched any Sonic cartoons. The only Sonic media I've seen is like fan-made content. It's a Sonic reference? Well, I assumed it was a Sonic reference. I just didn't know what specifically it was from. I'm excited to play Sonic though. I stole a controller from my friend. Just kidding. I asked. I asked before taking it, but I have a controller from my friend. The game doesn't say that I need a controller, but I imagine playing Sonic with a keyboard is probably not optimal. Wah, wah, wah. I'm excited though. Make you blue like Sonic? Make you blue blur as well? Well, I wouldn't want to take Sonic's drip. Not optimal. What if it's kind of awesome though? I don't know. There was one game I played. I don't remember which one it was, but I played some sort of game, and it was like, "Halt! You cannot play this game with the keyboard. Go get a controller right now." I'm trying to think what that was. I don't remember what that was. But Sonic didn't do that to me. So you'll have to let me know if you're a mouse and keyboard Sonic player. Also, good morning, Noah. You need, you're going to have your skin all blue too, regardless. What? Oh hell nah. Oh hell nah. Don't make me blue. Wait, hold on. Oh my god, that was so loud. I don't know why they're screaming at me. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Ah! Oh my god, this is the loudest game I've ever held of my whole life. Hold on. I'm so sorry for your little ears. Where's Eggman? Ah, shoot, you're right. Here he is. Don't even worry. We're so back. we're so we're so incredibly back. Now let's see if this streams nicely. The eggs are still moving? Oh my god. Your immersion's being broke, huh? You guys thought Eggman was the one moving it the whole time, but they were really moving on their own. Okay, this game is a little small, and it's also not wanting to be captured that well. Maybe this is a window capture situation. Hold on, hold on. Display capture. Nope, that's not quite right. Hold on. Hold on. Fixing. Fixing. Um, Scuffing. Window capture 3. Yep, that sounds awesome. Oh, there we go. Look, there's some Sonic shoes for ya. Pretty cool. Oh, hold on. It's above me. Man, swimming is a lot of work. Did you know that? a lot of stuff to be remembered here. All right. Ooh, this is a interesting starting screen. Okay. Okay, there we go. Hi, Dark Monarch. Okay, are you guys ready? Are you buckled in? I still don't know. I mean, I guess you can't tell, but on my end, this game is only taking up like 1/3 of the screen. It's so tiny. Oh, wait, you can't hear that well, can you? Okay, now we should be good. Oh yeah, check this out. Wow. Oh my god, they're all the primary colors. So cute. Hi, Tails. Oh my god, hi, Tails. Yo, thanks for the bonk. Wait, this art style is so cute. It's so soft. I'm gonna turn it down just a smidge. It's hype in here, but maybe not quite that hype. I mean, it's just a Thursday. I made it. Wow, Dilsey, you did so good. It's so cute. They're having a good time. Oh, is that Dr. Eggman? He looks less bald here than I was anticipating. Yo, hi, Hero. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Sonic Mania? Yeah. Yeah. I've never played a Sonic game before. And the very, very kind, Splingus gifted me this game to try out a Sonic game. I was pretty hyped in here. Oh, press any button. Okay, hold on. Let me grab my controller. I got an Xbox controller. I hope that's compatible. This game uses an autosave feature. Do not quit or turn off the power when this icon is displayed. Okay. Cannot rage quit. Mania mode. DLC. Okay. We're going into mania mode, folk, today. Congratulations! Enjoy your time with it! I'm enjoying. It's hyped in here, but also just a Thursday. Well, yeah, it's hyped in here, but like an appropriate amount, you know? It's not Funky Monkey Friday or anything. It can't get too crazy. Oh my god. I love to see a billion save files. This is so cool. Hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What's the best number between 1 and 8? Probably 7, right? Oh. I'm not really sure what this is asking. I assume this means 2 players. I'm not playing 2 players. I'm gonna pick Tails because I think he's the cutest. Don't we aware? It's Hero Hama's face! Happy Funky Monkey Friday. Oh my god. Oh. Okay. Okay, we're jumping right in on a little airplane. Wait, is there any story? Wait, look at him whacking his tails! That's so cute! Wait, it is a him, right? Is Tails a boy? I'm not 100% sure on that one. Oh. My goodness. Okay. Okay. They messed up the colors? Green Hill. Yo, what was that? I keep misreading your name as Herobrine. Oh my god, Herobrine in the chat. That's kind of swag. Wait, look at the little tail! He's just a circle. That's so cute. I'm gonna hope that the time doesn't really matter. Miles is a boy? Yes? Miles. Is Tails just a nickname and his real name is Miles? Okay. Cute! Go, little boy! Can I jump on it? Oh, I can't jump on it. Okay. Wait. My little things. No! Okay, surely it's fine. Oh my god, it's not fine. Is this similar to Donkey Kong Country returns. Where, like, you can collect the bananas, but you don't really need them for anything. Oh, yeah. Miles Tails Prowler. We've discussed this? We discussed this. Dot, 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 dot. It said Tails is... Ah! Oh. Tails is just a middle name? Oh. I just think it's really cool when people go by their middle name. Oh, man. I have never done that before. It's kind of fun. No! You like this emote, don't you, Squidward? Oh, I can't jump on those either. I'm cooked. Oh. Oh, I think I got hit too much. Maybe we don't worry about getting every single ring, you know? Maybe that's not super important. But it's so bothersome to leave one. Okay. Okay, swag. Okay, swag. Oh my goodness. Wait, there's rings down there. Ah. Wait, this song is pretty cute, I must say. Oh, yeah. Wait, my rings are blue now. This is so cute. What is this? Oh, a power-up? Oh, it's like a magnet thingy. Wee! Yo! Wait, there is so much... What the fuck? Oh my god. There's so much map. What are the chances that that's just water? Probably pretty high, huh? I'm not gonna test it out. Oh yeah. This is so awesome. I understand the appeal. Oh. Wait, I didn't even lose any rings from that. I guess I'm just that cool. Oh wait, that looks fun. Can I get enough speed? Oh, so cute. Sheesh. Oh, look at this little tail wag. What a cutie. Oh. Waiting for my bus. Oh yeah. You see this raw skill? Yeah, I beat Hollow Knight. Okay, I think that's all. You hold down B. You charge up ball mode? I don't know what controller you have. I have an Xbox controller. There is a B. Let's just jump in. It seems like B and A do the same thing. What about Y? Y doesn't do anything. X is also jump. Whoa! Wait, how did I do that? Oh, if you double jump, he starts schmoving. Wait, that's kind of awesome. Hold down and then hold B. Oh! He can duck. Oh! Sheesh! Wait, there's stuff down there. Wait, that's kind of awesome. Oh, I think I have to be going to the side for it to actually blast off nicely. That's kind of cool. Hello, Sergeant Newman. Hello, hello. Thank you for the follow. You're probably pressing W? Yo, I don't got a W. I've got triggers. I got Y, which is nothing. X, A, and B, which I'll do the same thing of jumping. Whoa! What is that? Fire? Oh. Swag? Swag? Swagging? Pogging? Back to work, late epic sigh. Oh, man. I hope work goes so good. Oh, a little shoe. Oh my god, he's got his Jordans. I know. Oh my god. Oh, he's invincible. That's good. Oh my god. Water? What the... What? Can I not be in the water? Okay. This is very... Oh. It's very, I'm gonna describe it. Sensitive, I guess. Like, if this is level 1, I'm a little bit nervous, I'm not gonna lie. Just saying nonsense, don't worry. I'm worried. Wait, I lost all my rings. There's some beans. Why work when I can watch my pogging all over streamers? I am pogging all over. Thank you for noticing. What the... Oh. Man, I had like 100 rings. Now oh my god, now I'm broke as hell. Do points matter in this game? Oh wait, there's a lot up there. Wait, let me up. Let me up! Wait, that looks cool.
OMG, they put Faust in
oh
a
my
Sonic
god.
game. Also,
OMG, they did!
Nunchuck.
Nunchuck. Nunchuck. Like the Wii... Like the Wii attachment? I was never a Nunchuck fan. Yeah, check me out. I'm in a Sonic game. They should put me in a Sonic game. It should just be like a recolor of Tails. Oh! Wait, that was not very nice at all. Aw, hell nah. Whatever, I didn't need rings anyway. I'm out of here. Ugh. Man! What the hell? I think you should lose like 10 rings when you hit a baddie. I think losing all of them is kinda messed up, I'm not gonna lie. No, 100% mod the game to do that. How do you... why can't I jump on him? Well, that time it worked. Maybe I was too close to his head or something. Can you mod a game like this? Take a look at this ringless fox, hey! Yo! I'll have you know, I'm wearing a snake ring right now. Oh my god. What is this? Catch the UFO? Why is this 3D? Okay. I don't really know. Is the red thing the UFO? I'm seeing a lot of flying objects, and I think all of them are unidentified. Low key. Match 1? What are these little peepos? Interesting. Oh, it's Mach 2, not match. Ah! No rings, no maidens, no bitches, Sag. Bro! You canonically cannot say that to me. I have crazy Riz. Incomprehensible amounts of Riz. See, what are the little things that Spamton likes? The little pips, the little egg things. That's what those blue things remind me of. It's so nice that I can't fall off the map. I don't know if I'm vibing with the 3D aspect though. I think I like the little 2D pixel stuff better. Gimbal all. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Whoa! Ah. Pippi, yeah, the Pippies. So these are. I'm collecting them. Oh my god, this is so scoped. How long do I gotta do this for? Time over. Oh man. Oh, it was a special stage. Okay. Maybe it's like Mappy Mouse, so you just get a certain amount of time to get as many points as you want. Wait, I'm still here. Oh, I thought that was like the ending. Okay. God! Wait, this is sparkly. Yo! Oh, I thought that was a ring. Okay. I'm glammed up. Sheesh. Oh. Oh, swag. Oh my god. Not swag. Okay, check this out. Oh man. What the? Let me out. Okay, thank you. Okay, awesome. Am I all done? Oh. Oh, we're fighting. Shoot. You can't blame Ash. The features you Riz are hard to see! It's true. My details are hard to see, huh? Wait, I feel like I can't touch them. Do I need to touch this middle? Oh. Evil Ferris wheel. Oh, maybe I gotta bounce on them when they're not spiky. Give me that. No, I need that. Oh. Shoot. Guys, don't look over here. Can you guys just wait until I until I have the game understood before you watch the stream, maybe perhaps? Just like listen to the pretty music and I don't know, read a book or something. Not my single ring. Look, I have 3 now. Do I have to jump on them or can I just touch them? This song is kind of awesome. Oh my god. My ring. Oh, okay. It's fine. Don't worry, I'm an expert, I think. I'm doing it. Okay. Okay, I got one. Swag. Oh. Look like a pharaoh seed. Tails got through Act 1. Wait, can you stop flying? I want this. Can I have this? Hello? Oh, you don't even like go to a different level. You're just there. Oh my god. Let me ride the zip line. Sheesh. That was fun. See, you got 1 ring. Good job. I'm sensing some sarcasm. And how do you know? I got 12 rings. Is that another life? Swag. I wonder if... Oh, ah! Okay, whatever. Whatever. A little PogChamp like me doesn't even need rings. Bro! But if Tails can, like, helicopter, right? I wonder what the other characters do. I doubt Sonic is helicoptering. Oh my god, a checkpoint. Yippee! You're doing much better than I would, don't worry. Oh, thank goodness. Why are you even clipping? You're clipping me getting hit? What? Oh man, my progress. What can I say? I played a lot of Mario as a kid. So platforming just comes naturally. Except for this particular part. Oh! I don't even know what that was. Blurry now. Sheesh. I like how you lost all your rings after you said you don't need them. Well, I don't. You know, rings are a luxury. You know, and who really needs luxuries? Like, get me in the freaky 3D realm. How do I get down there? Wait, no! My freaky 3D realm. Ah! Oh, it's time. I know Dilsey has to be here. Dilsey is here, or was here. She said, "Hi, Tails," and then told me Tails' full government name. Wait, where's the freaky thing? Oh my goodness, excuse me. I lost it. I lost my freak. Aw, man. Maybe we don't need the little freaky 3D thing. Okay. Whoa. Oh, there's a lot of checkpoints around here. Ah! Get blue spheres. I don't even know what I did. Wow, this is so sensitive. Oh. Wow, thank you. Thank you, you shouldn't have. Ah! Wait, come back. Okay. Oh yeah. Are you guys seeing this? Sheesh. Ah! Okay, don't look at that. Aw, man. We need to be playing the Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. Well, I already watched you play it. And I'm not gonna lie, watching that one, like, racing portion that took, like, multiple hours did not give me a lot of confidence that I could do that. You found the 3D thing? I did? I thought that was, like, underground for real. Sonic.exe! Aw, hell nah. Ugh. There's gotta be something cool up there, right? Do I care that much, though? A little bit, but not that much. Actually, no. Ah! Little about Sonic. I just think the memes are funny. Fake fan? You're telling me you're just a Sonic memer? You're not actually a Sonic enjoyer? Wow! Oh my goodness. You could do it easy? I don't know, it looked stressful. Like, I was stressed for you. Good times. Hi, Waffle. Wait, there's a little thing in this bush, maybe. Oh my god. Okay. Not really what I was hoping for. I think the gimmick of Sonic being a massive asshole is funny. Is he? Oh my god. Darn it. Like, if there's not like individual levels, it's just like one continuous thing. If you lose all your lives, do you have to start back from the very beginning? Oh my god, I made it. Wait, look at this little animation. He's so cute. Meow, 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 meow. Oh, I did not mean to go up here. Whoa. I'll take it, though. That was quite the night. That was quite the night. Whoa. I think you should do it again. Introduce it to a new audience. I guess I do love Blaze the Cat. It's like the really big one, right? The big chonker? Or is that a different cat? I think I'm a Tails enjoyer, but I don't know all the characters. Yo! There's some beans. That's big. Blaze is the lady? She looks like Espeon. Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. Like, does she have like a little red mark on her forehead? And she's purple. Yeah, okay. I think I've seen like a cosplay of her. I don't know how to get up there without hurting myself. Bro! I'm ringless. Yo! Oh, you can burn bridges. Oh, got an achievement for that. I did not even know there were achievements in this game. Whoa. Well, I still don't know how to get up there. My fave as a kid was Knuckles? It was? I would have put money on the fact that you were a silver girly. I think his name is Silver. Whatever the little psychic freak is. What? Let's burn some bridges. They have YouTuber friend of yours we can start beef with. Surely. No, I'm gonna be honest. I think a lot of my VTuber friends wouldn't mind some fake beef. I don't know who the best candidate is. I guess if you want real beef, I got nothing. You want it to be real? I could beef with shrimp. What? Can I safely get the blue? I don't think I can. Whee! The stars good? Oh. Oh my god! Sigh. I liked him too, but he wasn't in my DS game. Oh! What DS game did you have? Did you ever play this one? Starting beef with Shirley. I really like the Don't Call Me Shirley memes, but to be honest with you, I have never in my life met a Shirley. Moonwalk Tales. Chip did nothing wrong, leave them alone. They took my mod. They took my mod. What? I'm trying to think of what else they've done. I can't think of anything else. They're kind of perfect. The centerpiece of the beef. This is perfect for me. Oh my goodness. Yo! Guys, don't look at this. Don't look over here. Character, pretty much. Because you're always the main character. Bro, who put this goofy... This out of here. I'll beef with you? Oh my god. Wait, what are we gonna beef about? I'm now accepting beef applications. If anybody would like to beef with me, please, I don't know. Please contact someone. Send in your beef applications. And I'll review them. You don't own Dilsey, that's slavery? Well, I know. Dilsey's her own person. But... like, she's her own person, but... also... I claim her. You feeling me? If I beef with you, can we kiss afterwards? Is this toxic Yuri? That's so awesome. I think yes, but you have to send in an application, okay? Sending beef application? Alright. Ah! Oh, man. I can't wait to see it. Enemy to lover style. Sure. That's one of my favorites for real. As long as it's done right. I feel like a lot of enemies to lovers, like after they become lovers, they stop like having playful bickering. And like the relationship gets low-key boring. And I think that's tragic. I think all enemies to lovers should have a bit of playful banter afterwards. May I apply for the kissless beef? Yes, you may. You may. Ah! What if I made a really long post in general about a bunch of issues, and I started following the server for 3 months, and I start encouraging other streamers to hate raid you and report you to Twitch? Okay, well, that feels a little too serious. I don't know about that one. Maybe we veto that one. Or at least put a pin in it. You don't eat beef? Oh, shoot. Well, maybe, like, that's part of the issue. Have you considered that? What? I feel like there's so many, like, little areas. What? That you have to go back for. I just don't know if it's worth it. Yo, look at him swimming. Look at it. Look at his little doggy paddle. That's so cute. What a cute fella. Put a pin in it. Okay, your wish is my command. Okay, that is not what I meant. I'm submitting my beef application. Hey, Fuss, fuck you. Okay, that's not even like a beef application. Guys. Guys. You didn't really apply anything. That's just bullying. You called me Ozzy that one time? Ozzy? I don't even know who Ozzy is. I don't think I know any Ozzies. Maybe I need a running start. Okay, well, that's not... Time over. There's a time limit? I'm so cooked. Okay. Oh wait, there's a power-up thingy. Yo! I think chameleons shouldn't be allowed. Also, why does he turn into a bunny? Maybe this is like Donkey Kong, where it's like the little regular critters are being turned into weirdos because somebody wants a bunch of bananas. Yeah! Oh, can I swim up? Oh my god, I'm swimming? How do I... What? Wait, I kind of wanted to go up there. Man. Ozymandias? Oh! Wait, that is kind of real. I am Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look upon my... Wait, what is it? Look upon my kingdom and weep? Ah! Man. Also, I don't do fake beef. I only like real beef. Grass-fed. Right. How would you know if your cow is being fed grass or not? Like, if I fed your cow some potato chips, would you be able to tell just by tasting it? But I feel like you couldn't. I feel like I could lie to you pretty easily. Oh, is this a boss? Oh my god. Wait, there he is! This is just like my emote. Shout out Splingy. Oh. Yo, wait, the little bomb is cute. I want to bomb him myself. Can I jump on him? Oh my god, I can't jump on him. Get me out of here. Look upon my works, you mighty in despair. Oh, that's it. Oh, what a good one. Dr. Eggman! There was really no story whatsoever. Like, I just got thrown into this situation. I don't know what this guy wants. At least in Donkey Kong, there's like a little cutscene where the little totem guys wanted to eat bananas. Doesn't he want to turn the animals into robots or some shit? Oh, probably. I know whenever I like bounce on the robots, they'll turn into like regular bunnies and such. Okay, maybe I need him to blow up himself. Ah! I thought that would be a bomb. Ringless again. Oh. Wait, we both died. Oh, hell no. Ah! No way. Okay. Me and my 3 rings against the world. I guess if you're too close, he does the drill thing. I was thinking maybe I could bomb him. But perhaps not. His ex-wife, Professor Ovary Woman? What the... Professor Sperm Gal. I didn't know Sonic was freaky like that. I don't think you guys can say that in front of Tails. Didn't we discuss that Tails is like a baby? Like 11 or something. Whee! Those bombs are really cute. Oh, I can walk on him. Am I supposed to run up his arm and bonk his head? No, maybe not. How do I not die there? I didn't know Sonic was freaky like that. Have you seen all that Sonic and Craig shit out there? No. No, I have not. And I can't move my eyebrows independently, but I want you to know that I am raising an eyebrow at you right now. Do you use the bombs? Am I supposed to bounce them? You fly, you're vulnerable. It's not like when you jump. Wait, when you jump, are you invulnerable? So when the floor falls, what am I supposed to jump on? It's one of the more prolific Sonic memes. I've seen the memes where it's like, oh, Sonic stocks are down. Look up Sonic inflation to learn more. And then you look up Sonic inflation and then it's like fetish content. I was not aware of what? Preggers, though. When you jump, you damage things instead of being damaged. I think the only thing that hurts you is spikes when you're spinning. Wait, so when I'm a ball, I can't be hurt? And then regret! I see. I'm learning so much. Darn it. No! Oh. GHZ. Green Hill Zone? Aw, man. I gotta do the whole thing over again. Whee! Okay. Well, at least I know what I'm doing a little more now. Oh. Oops. Oh. Please come down, little guy. Unless he hit spikes. Yeah, I would think so. Oh. I'm learning, I'm learning. Oops. Oh man. Never mind, I'm not learning nothing. We move on. We move on, we don't need it. Oh yeah, real checkpoint. Oh. Oh man. Oh. Not oh man, I like this one. I'm not the biggest fan of the racing type one, but this one's pretty swag. Whoa. Oops. I'm not sure what my rings being blue does. Dragon Zaza. What the? What the? Are you behaving yourself over there? Ugh. Oh. Magnety. Whee! Oh. That went a lot better than last time, I think. Yo. Okay, last time I went up there and that thing took all my rings, so I'm not going up there again. Yeah. I know better now. Whoa! Okay, I don't really know why I didn't lose rings for that. Ugh. But I am thankful. Magnet shield, best shield? Oh. Are all of the power-ups like shields? Maybe that's why I didn't take damage. Oh, there is something back there, but I don't think I need it. I think I'm chilling. The balls that surround you are. Wow. Oh. I thought it was gonna turn blue. These guys aren't nothing to me. Oh yeah. The shiny thing is invincibility. So you're saying... You're saying I'm a really skilled gamer. Is what I'm hearing. Yeah! time for beef. Stir fry. Oh my god. Rice sounds so good. Hi, Shrimp. Hi, Shrimp. Do you want to beef with me? Woo. Yippee. No! Oh. What if I already... Shoot. Would you like to reconsider? What if I already... You know... Started... beefing? Is that true? Whee! Oh man, I broke it. Whee! Oh. Hold on. I'll jump. Yippee! No! Man. These stupid animals. Ugh. Go down here? Oh, can't go down there. Man. Back to 0 rings, I guess. You were beefing with me? Well, Dilsey was just asking about beef, and I just thought maybe that would be kind of awesome. You know, I'm sure it could be a good time. Ah, man. It's okay. 1 ring is all I need, surely. Can I make this? Okay, maybe not. Ah. Yo, this game is not very easy, huh? I got a thing! Wait, is this a good thing or a bad thing? Oh, a good thing. Let's go. Whee! Oh. I must say, the spikes are not my favorite. Whee! Fake drama collab where we pose our models to be fighting or something. I know, I'm still tired. Yo! Oh my god, I would love a fake drama collab. That would be so awesome. Oh, wait, there's goodies down there. Get me in there. Oh my god, I'm so rich. Yippee! Oh man, not yippee. Okay, I think I'm almost back to where I was, which is excellent and optimal. Oh, hey. If Dr. Eggman's thing is just to have like robot animals, why did he use existing animals instead of just like making his own little robot friends? He did not have to do all that. Well, fighting game modded to have your models? Oh my goodness. I don't think I've ever really played a fighting game outside of Smash. I guess I played Street Fighter at an arcade once, but man, people who are like actually good at fighting games kinda scare me. You have to remember like so many combos. No. Something about fighting games reminds me of chess. in a way. I'm not that good at chess. Oh, is it like however many rings you have is how much time you have? Oh. That makes sense. Wait, but if the rings count down, do you even get rings from doing this? Truly, what is the point of this? Maybe this is like chess too. I haven't played any fighting games in a long time. Will you ever get at any? One time I entered like a Smash tournament. It was just like in high school. It wasn't like something you actually had to pay to do. It was just like the games club was hosting it after school as a fun little activity, and I signed up and I literally got out first. It was me and Mike Kirby against the world, and it did not go so well. But in my defense, the person that beat me ended up winning the whole entire thing, so I guess I can't feel that bad about it. Chaos Emerald, maybe? I haven't played Mania. What? Chaos Emerald? Is that your favorite Sonic game? Get me out of here. Oh, rings. Sheesh. Whoa. Man, there was something up there, but maybe that's not my business. I think those reward Chaos Emeralds because it showed icons for them. Oh. Oh, I thought you were saying the name of the game for real. We watched the Sonic movie or movies? I watched the one with Jim Carrey. But I don't really remember what the problem of the movie was. I just remember that guy was helping out Sonic. And then there was like strangely placed sponsorships. Like they were just talking about Olive Garden and Zillow. And that's all I remember. Come get me. Oh my goodness, hi Carrot. I will stretch and hydrate after this fellow. Oh man, I missed a ring. Chaos Emeralds? Turn them into super versions of themselves when they turn golden. Oh. Super Saiyan Tails? That sounds awesome. 1 hour care package, thank you! Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. They need them. Ah! They need them all, but yeah, it does that. Basically, yes. Oh. That even gets the Goku hair? I have never seen that before. You just woke up and you're sluggish? Yo, what am I supposed to do there? Oh, right. Maybe I'm supposed to jump on the totem, but I feel like these totems are just in the background. I don't know how I'm supposed to keep from falling. Maybe I gotta jump on his head? But, like, he's falling too, so I don't really know. Maybe you're supposed to fly? I guess that makes sense. What if you're playing as, like, Knuckles or Sonic, though? Can they fly? What are they supposed to do? Okay. Surely. Surely this time. Surely this time I get him. Oh! No! I lost my streak for you. You never told me that was happening. Oh. So sorry. That's so sad. I don't remember what your streak was at, but I think it was a pretty big one, huh? Mama Twitch is a hater for real. Knuckle glides, I don't know. You might be supposed to kill him before you get to that point. I don't know, I haven't played this one. I don't know, every time you try to jump on his head, it just like makes me lose rings. This streak shit is rigged. Is that like 35? Oh. Were you not in my last stream? I thought you stopped in because you're like, oh, I woke up so late. Maybe that was a different one. This is so sad. You were fine when you tried? Okay. Let me try again. I need him to reach his arm out, though. Ah! Wait, did that do something? Oh, man. Wait, maybe that is doing something. Be nice if I had more rings. Ah! No! Who up struggling in the Green Hill Zone? I guess I gotta do it like on his noggin. No! It's so hard. I remember I slept through it. On the day I told you in the Discord, I slept 13 hours. But I watched like 2 hours of the VOD and a couple of clips, and it didn't tell me that my streak was restored. So I assumed I never lost it in the first place and just forgot about joining? Wait, that's a load of beans. I feel like if you watch clips, it lets you keep it. Man, it's so over. You might not even need the drill arm. Maybe if I just have the high ground. I worry about my ability to get to his head. Ugh. Okay, check this out. Ugh, I'm flying, stop! Ugh. Okay. Okay. My ring! Okay, I need to bounce without pressing the button again. No! What is the issue? It does? That's why I'm mad? That's how I funded the care packages. Did you get channel points for watching VODs? I didn't even know that. The spikes are getting ya. I wish they wouldn't. Man! And I gotta fight the little dangly guys again, too. Whatever. Surely we just rush through it. And it's fine and it's regular. Oh, I want that. Oh, a thingy. Let me up there. Ah! Human is hard. When I say that, I find a care packages through streaks. Oh. I see. I thought you were saying you got stuff from the VODs. That makes more sense, though. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. I think I like the other one better. Oh. Hello. Okay, that one is a trap. I low-key don't want to go there. Maybe the emerald thing is worth it, but I don't know. I'm a little fox on a mission. I got places to be. Whoops. You know, I guess the silver lining of having to do this over again is the music is pretty awesome. Yippee! Oh yeah. Thank goodness. Okay. Sinky. What an interesting spelling of Sonic you got there. Whoa. Sinky the Hancock. Oh. I see. Darn it. Maybe I'm not cut out to be a hedgehog. Never mind, check this out. Whee! Oh. Where's Sinky? He's somewhere. Surely. Surely, hopefully. You're gonna take an itty bitty nap? I shall work and return later. Yeah! I hope your nap is so good. Oh my god, got so quiet. I hope your nap is so good. Yeah. At least say thank you. Thank you! What kind of name is that? Wait, can you play this on keyboard? No, I guess you can't. None of the keyboard buttons work. Okay. Tinky the Fox. Oh. Yeah, I guess I am a fox right now, huh? But look at the way he's spelled up. Very hedgehog-like. He's like a fox raised by hedgehogs. That doesn't count. Yo! Choose the fake? Which one is it? Yo, there's yellow ones. What are yellow ones for? Darn it. What about Diff Tonky? Tinky Tonky? I don't think I know any Tonkies. Wait, that was cool. No! Man, I really don't like spikes. Funky Monkey? Oh my god. It's just like Funky Monkey. Good for me. What the? Oh. Where I started, I think. Oh, wait, I think there's stuff down here. Oh yeah, check this out. Oh yeah. Man, spikes are quite painful. Okay, I'm gonna get to the boss, and the spikes are not even gonna be an issue. What? Wrong way, kiddo. Oh my god, wrong way, kiddo. Navika B to make me feel better after this disaster. I'm so sorry you're going through it, Carrot. Pika Pika. Pika Pika Pika. Man, I want that thing. Maybe if I maybe if I had that thing, it would help me during the fight. Yo! The disrespect is crazy. Don't come near me, please. Ugh. Can I go above? Maybe I cooked myself. Maybe I can't go over there. Why can't I helicopter? Maybe there's too much velocity or something. Yo! Okay, surely this is the way to the shield. I'm gonna go kind of slowly. No! My shield. Maybe I don't need it. You can only helicopter when you jump yourself. Bounces don't count. I guess that's logical and all. Yo, a life's up there. Okay. You know, it's fine. Oh, there's a something. Oh my god. The something wasn't even worth it. It's okay, there's a life just like right over here. Yo! No. This game sucks, bro. Just kidding. This game is nice. I just am not good at it yet. Okay. And now, surely I can get to the big boss with... Oh, man. Whatever, whatever, whatever. None of this is important. None of this is important. Didn't need any of it. Me and my 7 rings, we're going places. Alright. Let me at him. Let me at him. Hi, Lori! Thank you for the lurk. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna get him, and I'm not gonna touch his weird little spike arm thingies. And it's gonna be so good and awesome. Okay, that's so cool. That's so cool and awesome. At least his bombs are really cute. Do you see that? That was cool, huh? Workies, Twilight Workies, that's so cute. I hope work goes so well. Wouldn't it be a 2 Sonic game if it didn't make you pissed? Man, I didn't even know that. My favorites are Shadow and Silver Sonic. Sorry, Silver the Hedgehog. He isn't Sonic. It's okay. All the hedgehogs can be Sonic, I think. Your first ever Sonic? Yeah! Yeah! Oh. There was one, like, 3D Sonic game that my friend Mick had in her basement that, like, I would play at her house sometimes. But, like, not really that much. Let this be your welcome to the world of furries? I read Warrior Cats, like, I'm already in there, don't worry. Don't worry about me. Is Sonic a furry? I guess he's kind of an animal that's bipedal. I wouldn't have really considered that, though. What makes something a furry? Like, is it just an animal with human qualities? Shadow has a gun? What do you mean Shadow has a gun? Is that real? A whole new world of furry freaks? This is a world of furries to which you are not accustomed. Beware. Ah! Have you guys seen those Chinese furries? Where it's like very, very cutesy fursuits. Very, very soft colors. Not like super bright colors. I think those low-key look cute. They're kind of awesome. Shadow the Hedgehog, the game, he has a gun. Who gave him a gun? Is that real? Shadow the Hedgehog, the ultimate life form? Dilsey, is that your favorite? I thought you just said you like Blaze the Cat. I low-key think I've only hit him twice. This might be good. I don't know how to not be flying. Wait, is this chill? Is this chill? What is that? He's panting. Okay. I don't think that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Prefer those over the ones I have to endure over here. Cute. They are very cute. I don't know. Like, I get that it's cringe, but I feel like there's a level of artistry that goes into them. Alexa, play by Red Zero. By Red Zero? Is that related to Shadow or guns or furries? Or you just want to hear that right now? I just said his name, that doesn't make him my fave. Does calling something the ultimate life form not make it your favorite? I'm tired of the night. I'm Dalvin's blue and purple dog. Release me! Yeah, kind of real. No offense if you're a furry that has a blue and black wolf. Ah! Like, maybe a little bit. He calls himself the ultimate life form? Oh. Didn't know he was chill like that. Spray it for me every night? Is that the spray for me song? That is so interesting. Gun Furry Shadow? Spoilers. What are we spraying? The bad chatters. Ah! Wait, is it spoilers that Shadow has a gun? I gotta keep it 100 with you. I don't really care about Sonic-related spoilers even a little bit. This story does not seem to be like something I need to experience for myself. Wait, is this the end? Guys, I don't really... I don't know what's going on. Did I just have to spam hit him? I don't know. I feel like I can only hit him when I'm like on a ledge. Why are you playing this? I'm educating myself on cinema. I think you jump pretty high. Is that real? I don't think I jump high enough. I think the spikes get me. I'm so cooked. I'll be 100% with you. That Sonic games aren't amazing. This one is, though. And they didn't really give a story. Like, I don't really know what the situation is at all. Okay, what do I do if I'm behind him? And he's just kind of dragging me. You can probably hit him from the back. Okay, freak. Do you think my problem is that I'm Tails? What happens if it's a Tail and Sonic situation and there's not two players? Does it just switch them out? Oh, cute. F, thank you. Tails is an AI? Oh. What's he doing? Problem probably isn't being Tails. What if it is? Have you considered what if it is? Maybe watching this cutscene again will help. Boing. Oh, he's just like a little buddy. But that's so cute. This guy can't helicopter. This is just like Donkey Kong Country Returns and playing as Donkey Kong. A lot less enjoyable, I must say. Shout out to all my Diddy Kong players. Has anybody played that game? I played that game so much. Oh, he can get damaged? Does he take the hit for me, or do I have to, like, look out for him? Ouch. Sonic does have some special abilities when he gets shields. Okay. Surely there's a shield around here. I didn't play much Donkey Kong Country, I suffered. Ooh, I don't think I played the original one. I played Donkey Kong Country Returns on the Wii. Ah! I liked that one so much. I never beat it though. I think I struggled with the final boss quite a bit. You get shield. Ah! You get shield, press jump twice. Okay. Let me find another shield. is way less cute. He looks like he's doing like tornado preparedness. Like he's in middle school and they're having a tornado drill. The original trilogy of Donkey Kong Country is so hard but so good. There's a trilogy? What's the third one? Shoot. It just happened. He's doing the not like this. Kind of awesome. In a way. Donkey Kong Country 3. Oh. Oh my god. Poor little guy. What an original name. Oh, I guess this isn't a shield, huh? I guess this is just invincibility. Yo, where's my friend? Oh. Hi. Okay. Oh my god. I guess it is nice to have a helper. Maybe this will make the boss easier. Maybe he knows how to jump correctly. Oh my goodness. Oh. It worked out! The bubble does like a bounce on the ground. The flame shoots you forward and the lightning gives you a double jump? Yeah, but if you just tails naturally, you just like get the double jump, right? I don't know, I think I believe in tails supremacy. He's a little stupid, but I quite like him. Oops. Oh. I'm staring this zip line and it's going 1 mile per hour. Lovely. Oh, I need that. That's why Tails doesn't get those abilities. Makes sense. I feel like it's a better trade-off though. Ah! Oh my goodness. Oh. What is this supposed to be doing? You see a glowing ring around one of the checkpoints. Jump in? Like the really big ones? Is that just for the 3D minigame thing? Oh, I need the fire for that. I'm just gonna ignore it. That one doesn't do anything. Oh. So you're telling me Sonic is kinda lame, huh? That's what I'm hearing. Not the big ones, the ones made of sparkles. Jump in sparkles. Got it. Ah, man! Forgot about that. The rage bait type of game, huh? Ooh. You come out of checkpoint poles. This? Oh. I see. I've been in this situation before, but I didn't really know what was causing them. Ah, man. The bubble is pretty fun. So mini game, yeah. Aw, man. Ugh. Got blue balls. Thanks. That is kind of what it's feeling like, huh? Oh. Does it get rid of your shield? I guess we'll find out. I missed one. Don't look at that. Oh. Oh. I didn't know the yellow ones were chill. That's good. Oh yeah, you're right, I do still have the shield. Okay. Surely going into it with the boss is awesome. Oh, it didn't hit him. At least I won't accidentally fly if I'm Sonic. But I don't know how to get up that high. Guess like that, huh? Maybe this is easier. Hello, Mr. Marshmallow. How's it going? Hello, hello, hello. Ah. My drip. Should be able to hit him with the double jump. Oh, is that a double jumping one? Whoops. Oh my god. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. Electric one, yeah, gives you a double jump. Shit. Currently in pain, but I'll be alright. Just gotta take it easy. How are you? I'm pretty good. I'm sorry to hear that you're in pain. Hope it goes away soon. Oh, all that to free some bunnies and some birds? Alright, I guess so. GG! GG, GG, GG. Thank you. Oh. He's angry. I was talking about you, hi, but I'm not a fish, though. Were we talking about fish? Also, are we sure that Levi's not a fish? Whoa, chemical plant. Oh, I like the city background. That's pretty. Whee! Whee! Oh. I think I vibe with it. Oh. Got stuck. We're sure, yes. We are not sure. Sounds like we need some more... research. Oh, we said fish in the chat? Fish in the chat. Are we going fishing? Fishing for Norks tomorrow. Be there or be square. Can I get that guy? Thank you for the follow! Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh. Oh my goodness. Oh. What am I supposed to be doing? Maybe we go this way. Can I touch the scary purple water? I'd assume not. Love the vibes here. I'm so good. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, I can. Oh, I didn't realize that was flipping. Can I fish for Levi? You can fish for me. I'm not super fond of fishing. Sure, you can fish for anyone if you try hard enough. If you have the right bait. I'm trying to think. I think if you wanted to fish for me, you could probably just use honeycombs. That would probably work. Whoa. Okay. Ugh. Not okay. Dying, perhaps. Wait. Okay, okay, wait. Something. Yeah? I don't think I went this way before. Oh, right. What now? What is that stupid little looking... Yay! Yo! Well... Listen, I kept dying as Tails, so I thought maybe playing as a hedgehog would make it easier. And honestly, I don't like Sonic as much as Tails. But it did make the boss fight easier. What is killing me? You're a better hedgehog than a fox, it appears. Yo! That's some crazy slander. You guys ever seen a hedgehog before? I had a friend who had a pet hedgehog. Oh my gosh. Purple. Wait, am I supposed to go down? Maybe it doesn't want me to go down. Am I running out of breath? Why are we stressing? Yo, yo! 2, 1. Oh, okay. We're drowning. Oh, Tails is chill. What the? Oh, this is so sad. Are you the fastest thing alive? Time attack is now unlocked? Yo, get that out of here. Competition is now unlocked. Man. I wanna... I wanna be as far as I can be, but I also don't really wanna be... Oh, time limit on. I can change that? I'd like rather be Tails though. We turn the time limit off. Surely I can do it as Tails. When you say I want to pull you out of the water for sport, you're not fishing your place, right? Oh, like fish for Levi? Like, you're gonna go catch him a fish? That sounds nicer. I think you should do that one. What do you think the liquid tastes like? It's like brain puree. What does brain puree taste like? That's gotta be kind of nasty, right? Like, wouldn't it just taste like uncooked meat? In a way. I don't know. The color kind of reminded me of Gamer Supps, to be honest with you. Maybe I'm just cooked in the head. But I would like to imagine it tastes like yummy yummy gamer subs. What? How many times are gonna replay Zone 1? Listen. Listen. Have you considered Tails Supremacy? Ooh. No, thank you. I feel like you haven't considered. What? It sounds nice if you fish in my place. You do appear to be getting better at the first 2 stages at least. Thank you. Thank you for saying that when I haven't got past level 3 yet. I'm getting real good at level 1. Let's compromise. I'll fish for you and then fish for you. Seems like a good compromise. Oh, I could really go for some salmon with rice. If anyone wants to fish some salmon for me, that would be awesome. I don't really know where salmon are native, but like surely you could find one. That's how Sonic games go. You gotta improve over repetition. Oh man. I'm not much of a grindy game enjoyer. So maybe I'm not cut out for Sonic. But I will try my best. I think it's nice of you. You fished for me twice? What's your favorite kind of fish? Ugh. Ugh. The fish I eat most is cat. What? Oh, I forgot about this. It's catfish. I don't think I've ever really seen a catfish dish. Oh. Oh my goodness. Hello, Big Papa. How's it going? You think I make this? I really don't want to lose 53 rings. Oh, wait. Tails W. We ignore the problem. It's okay. It's fine. Sometimes ignoring the problem doesn't work. Let this be a lesson to all of you. Catfish is good. Yeah, I've never eaten catfish before. Like, I've heard of winner catfish dinner, but I've never been in a catfish situation. Very eepy, very much missing caffeine. Are you trying to cut your caffeine intake, or did you just run out? Either way, I'm wishing you luck. Fish tuck. Forgot about fish tuck. Oh, I did not get that checkpoint. It's okay, I didn't need it. Didn't need it anyway. Bow 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 bow. Where's my zip line at? Cut my caffeine to 0 from 1,200 to 1,400 milligrams a day. Oh, you just cut cold turkey, huh? Good job. Good job. I think you're doing great. Isn't it winner chicken dinner? That's what I thought too. No, but have you guys heard that country song? Don't they say catfish dinner in the country song? Maybe I made that up in my head. I feel like I've heard catfish dinner before though. Surely somebody says that. How many mocks do I have to get before I get something cool? And then furthermore, do you think I can get it? Much to ponder. Well, what is that? That was cool. Like a big coin. Oh, I'm looping. Alexa, play Looping the Rooms. What is that? Oh, maybe that's the emerald. Maybe I'm supposed to be catching up to it. Ah! Okay, well, if you go too fast, then I'm not gonna be able to turn. Ah! Oh, I got it. Yippee! This is the first time I heard that. Guys, I swear it's real. It's Emerald, you got it. I got it. Did it do anything for me? I feel like a pretty regular fox. Yeah. I've never had catfish dinner either. You haven't? I swear that's real. It won't do anything until you get all 7. Ah, hell nah. Ugh. Oh my yet. I need him to be lower than me. Please get over here. I'm so scared right now. If I don't get this, I'm gonna freak it. Ah! I'm freaking it. I'm freaking it. Ugh. Surely he's only like 1 hit away, right? He was not 1 hit away. I just don't think I jump high enough. Oh my god, this is the edge. Okay. Ah! No! How long before I got here have you been playing, just out of curiosity? I didn't do a lot of yapping before stream. So pretty much however long the stream's been going. It died too? Yeah. Yeah, low-key a load of beans. I hate this guy. Oh, I didn't even get to jump on his arm. Hi, Asu. Are you a Sonic fan? Oh, man. Did I only hit him twice? It is a lot easier to jump on his arm, but it's scary to get close enough. Ugh! Die! Please, 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 please. Please, 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 please. Oh my god. Please, 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 please. Please, please, please. Okay. It's fine, it's fine. Why are you running so fast? Chill. Wait, there's no... The floor is gone. Okay. Okay.
So now that you're out of your boss
awesome.
fight, I think this is a wonderful time to tell you about Sonic. It's a
Am I
game
out
that
of the
grew on
boss
me,
fight?
just like Phasmophobia. Speaking of Phasmo, I have a story about a haunting. There's a chicken haunting
Is
my
this a dad
house, a
joke?
poultrygeist. I'm
Okay.
afraid I'm gonna have to call the egg coursist over to get him to cross to the other side.
Thank you, Big Papa. Sonic model win. I don't think I'm a big Sonic fan. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think this is an interesting gameplay experience, But I don't think I would ever go crazy for this one. No floors, Megamind face. Bro! What the? Hey! Some of us are trying our best over here. Okay. Maybe I should count how many hits it takes. That's 2. Surely it's gotta only be like 5 or something. It's certainly no Gex. I saw the video game donkey video about Gex, and that's all I know about it. I think the graphics leave something to be desired. Oh wait, I stopped counting. Was that 4? Ah! Man. Whoa. Sonic can never live up to that hunk of Gecko? What? Hunk of Gecko? Are you okay? Get down, get down! Ah! You did not get down. Oh wait, nice little strip of land. Why are you marching so fast? Stop! What? Oh my goodness. Okay, that's awesome. Maybe it's not worth playing as Tails. I just really don't like Sonic as much. Hold on, Gay. Why did Gay get auto-modded? What the helly? Hi, Sid! I've not seen old-fashioned Sonic in a while. This is my first time seeing it. Do you think a snack would help? What if I got cereal? Do you think cereal would help? It's so over. It's so over indeed. So what I'm saying. So I'm saying. Sigh. Alright, everybody go get some cereal, and surely that will help. Surely that will help. I'm so cooked. I'm so cooked. Does anybody know how many hits that guy has to take? 59? 69? Oh. It's so 34, 97, guys. Surely honeycombs carries. I don't even have honeycombs. I have cinnamon toast crunch though. Alright. Alright, check this out. Everyone go get cereal. Everyone go get cereal now! hello, I'm back. Low audio? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. You had to... you had to suffer through that, huh? You had to suffer. Anyways, I got cereal. It's like Trader Joe's brand Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So it's called like Cinnamon Crunchy Squares. But I put chia seeds on it. Kind of awesome. You guys get cereal? Also, you have Frosties? Did you get some? I hope you got some. Nothing like 4 a.m. cereal, huh? I didn't really think about this. I can't really play while eating cereal. And if I put it to the side, it's gonna get soggy. So I guess we're watching Baby Sensory. So my cereal's gone. Teehee. If you get hit, you're invincible for a bit, so you could probably hit him at least twice. I didn't even think about that. I better get a Pika P for compensation. Charchi, you can just redeem Pika P. Did you know that? Hydrate and stretch, thank you! Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you thought you stared at watermelons. You're really living up to your gooner name, huh? Meow! Oh my goodness, hi Delzy! I did not receive ads. I demand compensation. You should've. I pressed the play ad button. I don't know. Do you have an ad blocker? Hydrate. Just drink all the milk. There's cereal in the milk. I guess I can drink some of the milk. There's chia seeds in it though. Ever since somebody told me that the limit of chia seeds you're supposed to eat is like 2 tablespoons, I've been like low-key nervous. But every time I make cereal, I just pour a bunch in there. So like hopefully I'm not messing up my tummy. I don't recall getting my ads either. Guys, look at this. Hold on. Oh my god, there's me. Hold up. Oh, you can't even see. You can't even see because it's cropped. Oh, that didn't help. Anyway, it says pre-rolls off for 57 minutes. So, I don't know why you didn't get any. I need to save up for full upside down stream. How many channel points do you have? I meant Baby Sensory watermelons. That's what I would say too. Your tummy is fine? I hope so. But also, I looked at the bag and it didn't say like any warnings. Like it didn't say don't eat the whole bag, so maybe it's chill. I'm gonna wake up one morning with a watermelon-shaped belly full of chia seeds. Like they're little sleeper agents, and then one day they're just gonna start growing. Well, GG, I guess. Alright. Do you guys think this lady or this lady has more AO3 works about her? Is this Naruto's mom? Probably not. I don't know who this lady is. Wait, why is she wearing like fishnets? It's surely gotta be her. It was her. Okay. The My Hero Girl? Or Legend? Linked Universe? Fan comic? If it's already a fan comic, then it's like probably not too popular. Also, this is like the main girl. It's gotta be her. Sheesh! Wow, if somebody writes 60, then she'll be at a funny number. I think other kind of baby sensor too, actually. Is this weird to say? I think you have a good point. I'm gonna lurkies. Have so much fun. Thank you! Thank you for the lurk. I hope you have so much fun too. Not Naruto's mom, oh. Well, she had like a similar hairstyle, like her bangs were similar. I thought maybe they were related. What is up with it? Do you guys know about Linked Universe? I've never heard of that before, but there is 2 in a row. It's gotta be my man Roy Mustang. I like him a lot. Leslie Tompkins or Chiron? I don't know who this is. Is this a popular DC character? I really don't know. I really don't know about this one. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. Kind of obnoxious, huh? I feel like the ones that don't even have pictures can't be that popular, right? Oh. Cooked. Leon? / Leo? Or Frine Fisher? Everyone likes Leon from Resident Evil, right? I think Baby No Money just did a cosplay of him. Oh! It wasn't him. I didn't even recognize the other person. I'm washed. Mercedes Jones from Glee or Lily from Pokemon. I've never seen Glee, so I don't know if this is a main character, but I feel like a lot of people really enjoy Lily. She's really cute. Not good reasoning. Really? Ah! Is that not good reasoning? I just feel like if a character is really popular, wouldn't they have a picture? Hello? How's it going? I hope you're having a nice day. Alright, Chihuahua from Supernatural or Fukukado Emi Miss Joke. I know a lot of people write Supernatural fanfictions, but I feel like that's usually yaoi, right? Or maybe Miss Joke? Oh my god. I'm so cooked. Cutter General. What does that mean? Surely it's Miles, right? Doesn't everybody like Spider-Man? I don't even know who Cutter is. Is it? Well, maybe... maybe I'm just self-reporting. But I feel like I've only really seen like Cassandine. I've never seen a Supernatural fanfiction about a woman. Okay, what about this one? I know this is a really popular fella. But I feel like Marvel is like a whole nother level of popular, right? I don't know though. I don't know who's more willing to write fanfictions, if it's the weebs or the Marvel nerds. I hope it's Psyche. But do you think it is? This one's tough. I'm not on a good streak. I'm not on a good streak at all. Raise your hand if you have ever wrote a fanfiction about either of these characters. It'd be like a body mod? That is true. It's AO3 though, so it's not just smut. Like, I'm sure it's including smut, but I think it's just regular fluff as well. I've never heard of them. You never heard of either of them? Oh. I watched a few episodes of this recently. I've always been like aware of this show. I just never watched it until recently. It's kind of cutesy. I know her. Whoa! Hi! Hi. Hello, Puppy Raid! Oh my goodness! Hi! Hi, Jade! Hi! How was your stream? How are you? I saw you were reading more, Cradle, right? Was it good? Did you like it? Hi, Ray! Hello, hello! My hands are held down. Why are your hands held down? Like you don't know? Probably left? Okay. Okay, I'm trusting you. Oh my god, it was so close. Shouldn't have trusted you. It's okay. I think I would have gone left as well. I don't know. Something about AO3 makes me think more anime, but I think maybe that's not always true. CT5597 from the Clone Wars. Phantom Thieves of Hearts. Phantom Thieves of Hearts? Is this a character? Is this a villain or like a playable person? This image isn't helpful at all. It's just everyone. Or is this the name of the whole entire group? You started book 2? Yo! Good job, good job, good job. Phantom Thieves for sure. It's the main characters or a group? Oh. Oh. Are you thinking people are writing a fanfiction about the entire group? Maybe that makes sense. Sheesh! Got a failing grade! It's okay, I finished my Frosted Flakes, so... Wait, I'm not even eating Frosted Flakes. I finished my CTC. Who are these people? Wait, Dilsey, you never seen the Clone Wars? I also haven't seen the Clone Wars, but that just seems like something you would be into. Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna drink my milk and put my bowl in the sink. I've seen it, but I don't remember that character. You telling me you don't remember CT5597/Jessie? God. What a fake fan you are, huh? Tisk tisk. Tisk tisk. I'm putting my bowl in the sink. I'm out of here. I can't stand this. Okay, I'm back and I have Scylla. Well, I don't have Scylla. She's just on my desk. I think she's looking for cereal. There's no cereal here. How to prepare for Archie. So Maraid and Lurk. That's so much fun. Ah, thank you for the lurk. I hope Archie goes so well. I hope you get such high numbers. Whose stream is it now? It's yours. Always has been. Always has been. You don't even know anything about Star Wars. Well, that's not the argument. I'm not arguing that I know about Star Wars. I'm just arguing that Delilah should know about Star Wars, you know? Big fan and all that. Thank you. Thank you for receiving Upside Down, I guess. I guess. Good morning. Good morning, guys. Okay. Oh, man, I just centered it. Monthly stream? Happy Butt Monkey Thursday, everyone. I'll tell him you said that. And he'll be like, what are you talking about? Ah! Jump scare, sorry. Turn it down just a little. It's a bit much. Ah! Wait, I didn't know I could click. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. I want to play as Sonic. I want to play as Tails. There's a menu button. What? Sigh. Oh, we just started a completely new save. Yo! Thank you for the best! You're so sweet and generous! Thank you, thank you, thank you! I'm deleting that. Alright. Alright. Wow, 500 too. It's so sweet. I'm so happy. Alright. Now... Did I die all the way? Is this the beginning again? Wow. Surely it's not cooked. Yo. It's hard being a fox in a hedgehog world. Yo! Well, at least I lost it right next to this other shield. Ugh. What? How did I get them in helicopter mode? I thought you had to be in bomb mode to get enemies. Alright. Alright, I guess so. Oh, okay. I think if your tail if your tail hits things, it might kill them? What? Then how come when I was doing the boss fight, it didn't like it? Oh, I'm invincible. I can just... Oh my god, I'm not invincible. Lightcopter mode, that's so true. Yeah, I'm somewhat of an expert. Oh yeah, look, I didn't even lose my rings! Sheesh. Yeah. Yeah, you do that, fruity little dance tails. You earned it. Sheesh. You're landing on them, not hitting them with your tails. Which are above you. Oh. So it's just funny hitbox business. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm precise enough to take advantage of all that. But that is good information to have. Oh. Yo! Get me back in there. Oh. Sigh. I keep saying I gotta lurk, but stuff keeps happening. I'm here fighting. I have 30k channel points. Yo! So many points. So many points. I'm a little scared. Like, what are you saving them for? Oh, this one doesn't even have the sparkles. Oh. Okay. Oh. Thanks, that's wonderful. Oh, gimme. Oh. Wait. Oh man. It's okay. Didn't really want it or need it anyway. Surely for a full upside down stream. But you guys don't even know how long I'll be streaming for, so how are you even gonna plan that? I think you need a certain amount of rings for that to happen. Man. You saying I'm cooked, huh? Ugh. I hate when there's a loop-de-loop and I don't have momentum. Go! Nothing? I'm scared. Oh. Save up for 3 years! I haven't even been streaming for 2 years. That's crazy. Oh wait, check this out. I'm gonna use my fire shield to get this crab. Oh my god, that's not a crab. Okay, I'm gonna get the blue spheres, and then I'm gonna get the crab, and then get the extra life. Sheesh. Whoops. Aw, man. 3-year stream AO. Like you're saying I'm streaming for 3 years? Or like my 3-year stream anniversary? Check it out. Check it out. Pretty cool, huh? If you saw how many points I have saved up, you would fear my power? People Pika P stream. So the interesting thing about that one is that Pika P is... It's a little bit cheaper on purpose because you can only redeem it 1 time per person per stream. So I think your plan is cooked. 300k needed for full upside down stream probably. The time! You like always pay attention to the time. Gah. Oh, wait, I didn't realize this was it. Look, I have 6-7 rings! That's gotta mean something. That's gotta mean that I'm cooking. Oh my god! Okay. It's fine. Wait, how do I hit him twice? It's okay, we can keep getting ult surely. Yo! Mods, ban Ultra Instinct Teru. It kind of like flops me to the side, like it doesn't want me to double hit. Oh no, on helicopter, please. Girl, Unsubscribe! It's okay. You can unsubscribe if you want to. You know, if you don't really like my content that much, it's okay. I understand. Sigh. Yo, chill! I think he should not be allowed to get faster. Oh, okay. There's a little bit of ground. Thank goodness. You can never. They're not even here yet? Oh my god, sorry. What can I say? I'm just prepared like that. Oh my god, the bunnies fell! In the cage with the bunnies and they low-key just fell to their death. Yikes. Yo, we got it! You killed the bunny! Okay, well, you don't have to say the kill bunny part. Okay, just focus on the win. A win is a win. It's so okay. Just falling at the last sec. Man, I already did that. Don't even have to imagine. Alright, check me out. Tails in the big city. I don't really know why orange juice fell on his head. He's probably gonna get cancer. It's probably some sort of chemical, huh? She did say the 6-7 would mean something. But at what cost? Well, you're not a 6-7 enjoyer? You don't think it's funny? It's like kinda funny. Ultra Instinct Territorial? Why do you even have 500 channel points? Why? Why are you lurking on your old account? Pika, thanks for your support, I guess. You sounded so excited about the bunnies dying. Listen, it wasn't excitement. It was just like... I was shocked, you know? It's like, whoa, can't believe that happened. I'm sure they're fine. It's not really my problem, though. You know, at least they're not in a cage anymore. Have you considered that? Whoa! Is it safe? Am I supposed to go that way? Whee! Oh, I did not need to do all that. Oh man. You're setting them up. Falling off a cliff, nuh-uh. Listen, guys, I think you're mistaking strong emotions with enthusiasm. It wasn't a good thing that it happened. It was just interesting, you know? They're in the cage of purgatory. Well, if they didn't go to heaven, that's not really on me. Why is it my fault if they're in purgatory? I have no emotions and no enthusiasm. Is that real? It felt like strong emotions. Guys, I'm not gonna have this argument. You're either on my side or you're not. Yo. Oh. I am quite lacking in the momentum department, huh? Maybe I just don't go that way. She's gonna do to us what she did to the bunny? Yeah. Maybe. Are we debating the ethics of killing robots before they can repent? Is that what's going on? No, I'm just defending myself. I'm not making any ethical claims about it. Well, maybe I am. I'm claiming that what I did was not wrong. That was a bit lackluster, huh? Whee! I haven't said this in a while. Dilsumasu? Oh my goodness. Dilsumasu. Sheesh. Oh. Wait, that was fun. Whee! You're either excited like fuck or you're not. Hey! I'm not excited. Oh. been here before? I guess not. Oh my goodness. Okay, well at least I didn't die. Yippee! Oh. Oh my goodness, okay. I don't even know what happens if you get all the blue spheres. Yo! Darn it. We're debating the ethics of Frost feeding a bunch of bunnies into the endless abyss. Isn't there like good Samaritan laws? Like if you break somebody's ribs trying to do CPR on them, you won't get like in trouble because you were like trying to do the right thing. Well, I think that would apply to if you freed a bunch of bunnies from a cage and then they immediately fell out of the cage into a pit. Oh my god, I forgot about breathing. Shoot. Please. I'm not even close to the top. Oh my god, I was close to the top. Sheesh. Wow, that was kind of scary, huh? Could have died. Let's free them from their mortal coils. Isn't that nice? You want to break someone's ribs now? If you break their rib, you owe them one of yours? I'm not saying I want to break somebody's ribs. I think there's a law. Because, like, obviously if you just break somebody's ribs for no reason, like, that's a problem. But I'm pretty sure if, like, you're trying to do a life-saving thing to somebody and you end up hurting them, like, you don't get in trouble. I might be making that up. I have not looked at the actual law. I just heard about that. Yo! My god. This guy needs to practice holding his breath a bit more, I gotta tell ya. You gotta confirm with them that they want to be saved first? You do? You're telling me if I'm, like, in a lake drowning, there's water in my lungs, you're gonna be like, hey man, is it okay if I start doing CPR? Like, how am I supposed to answer that? Like, I probably can't hear you. I'm dying. I don't think you guys know anything. Wait, this is the way that took me back underwater. I don't know where else to go. I do think being hunted by bunnies would be kind of fun. Unless they try to chew on your wires or something. Then I guess that would suck. Good Samaritan laws? Yeah, isn't that what they're called? What's gonna give the bunnies CPR to break their ribs? Them's the rules? Is that true? You either take the chance of getting sued or you don't, I guess. I thought the whole law was that you won't get sued because to the best of your abilities, you're trying to save someone. Is that not true? You fell down so you went back underwater? Did I fall down? I thought this roller coaster just took me in a loop. Oh, maybe that's the fall down part. Okay, wait. Maybe we're up to something. If they don't want to be saved and you didn't ask their permission? You're telling me you had to check if they're a DNR before... What? I just feel like if it's a life or death situation, how are you even supposed to act? Ah! Okay. How are you even supposed to ask them? Maybe I'll just ask everybody ahead of time. Guys, is it okay if I perform CPR on all of you? If you're in a predicament? Okay, I'm gonna get so many blue spheres. Ugh! Never mind, I'm gonna get 6 blue spheres. Depends on the day. Man. Sigh. It's too cost $5 for saving my life. Isn't that a little more insulting that it's only $5? Okay, new boss, new boss. Oh, it's still got that funky, nice music. Oh, hello. I assume it's gonna... Oh, I thought it was gonna spray. Ah! Okay. Can I... Oh, okay. No, that's toxic goop. Don't touch. Wait, how do I get him then? Well... I guess just in this little time frame after it does the ring circle thingy. Oh my goodness, I keep forgetting. Whoopsie. Okay. Oh, I missed. Darn it. Oh. This one isn't so bad. No! Well, I guess it's bad if I keep missing. No! Man. Yo, don't say Get that out of here. Can those not hit me? You sue Foss $1 million? So she's in debt forever and feels good that it was a lot of money she's being sued for. Bro. That is not what I meant. Foss didn't save my life when I expected her to. Suing for $1 million. Man. So, so I'm getting sued whether I save your life or not? Also, I don't think I can be sued for not saving your life if I don't know how to do that. Also, I'm becoming not upside down anymore. Wait, what is this that I'm moving? I don't know what that is. Hi, Aphex. We are playing Sanic for today. Except for we're not playing as Sanic because he kinda low-key is not as cool as Tails. We're a Tails household. He can fly, and that's pretty swag. Oh, it sounds like that's what you meant. Okay. Okay. The real secret plan is that I just never leave my apartment so that I'm never put in a situation where I have to decide to save someone or not. Wait, Apex! I started watching Severance. I thought you should know. I'm on like... I'm on like episode 4, I think. My favorite character is the old guy. Wait, is this sweater clean? Oh. What the? This is just like that slime I made. Boing. That's kind of fun. Oh my god. Swag? Oh my god, I love my ring. Yeah! Yeah, he's pretty cool. I would be his friend. Oh, wait. The purple goop was good? Yo. Wait, I like all this random slime. Shoot, I'd live in Chemical City if there's just a bunch of bouncy slime everywhere. No. Okay, I thought that would be cooler than it was. Whee! Yo! Huh. Interesting. Oh, didn't really mean to kill that guy, but that's fine. Oh. Oh. The humble gumball. Society. Oh. I think the blue one you can't touch. Oh, you just turn it into good blue. Really gotta go back to watching season 2 because I never had time to finish it. Fake fan SMH. I didn't know there was 2 seasons of it. Or maybe I did. That's pretty awesome. Oh. Man, I am not an Eggman enjoyer. I feel like usually you're supposed to be going right. Why is this taking me left? Maybe it's like a go left to go right kind of thing. Cars style. Whoa. Also, the way Helly R is waking up and slaying every day for her office job is so inspirational. I agree. I agree. Her outfits do be looking kind of awesome. I don't know. I don't have an office job. I've never really had an office job. But I feel like I just would not be that dedicated. Maybe like twice a week, but like 5 days a week. It's truly some dedication. Thank you for the 15 streak. I am not an Eggman enjoyer. X Cinna Egg Fox 2026? Yeah, don't call me Cinna Egg Fox. I want nothing to do with Dr. Eggman. Like, it's kind of swag that he's turning robots... Or he's turning little animals into robots. Like, I see his vision, and that's pretty cool. But I don't know. He's low-key ugly. Whoa. Wait, there's other stuff up there. See, Sonic could never... Sonic could never just helicopter his way up to this cool stuff. And that's why we're Tails enjoyers. Oh. Yeah. Man! Cinnamon eggs don't sound tasty unless it's eggnog. Ooh, I've never had eggnog. I've never had eggnog. I can see it being tasty though. Oops. I don't know. I haven't had that much cinnamon stuff that I didn't like. Well, I actually do have an office job. I'm feeling like I'm on 7s every day. Yeah, I be choosing the scary numbers. Are there scary numbers in your job? Is that awesome? Do we like that? Why have you not had eggnog? I think the idea of drinking eggs kind of scared me. Well, then my friend Marshy was like, no, think of it like custard. Like, custard has eggs in it, and it's not gross. I was like, oh, you bring an excellent point. But I've never been in an eggnog situation since having this revelation. The numbers were scary. Yeah, like I said, I think I'm only on like episode 4. Because those episodes are kind of long. They're like an hour each. So even though I'm not that far, I still watched like 4 hours of show. But anyway, I did not understand what she was talking about. Like, they showed the numbers and they didn't even look that scary. But I guess she's built different. What can I say? Each is a movie? Oh. Scary movie. Scary movie numbers. It's all coming together. Okay, I don't think I'm supposed to be over here. I'm not sure where I am supposed to be, though. Okay, wait, check this out. Boing. Boing. Ah. Little evil volcano. Little evil teeth volcano. Not a fan. Oh, each episode is a movie. Oh. What kind of movie are you watching that's 1 hour long? I was gonna say like Peter Pan, but I think even those movies are like 1 hour 30. Okay. Yo, Tetris? Sheesh. Can I... Oh, I can wiggle them around. Wait, this is so awesome. Sheesh. Oh my god, the green and red one remind me of VeggieTales. Like, this is literally Bob and Larry. Oh shoot, I should have rotated that. Oopsies. It's fine. It's fine. Surely they don't mind. Okay. Things are happening. I think I'm mogging on him. His board does not look as clean as mine. Oh, never mind. I'm not mogging anymore. Sheesh. Yo. Okay. Whoops. I just need a red and then everything will be fine. I'm not really getting red though. Please. Oh wait, this is good. Okay. Beautiful. Do I just play until he loses? I guess so. This is not Tetris. This is literally Tetris. What do you mean? Look at how Tetris-like this is. Oh, I probably shouldn't have blocked that blue. Yo! It's fine. Surely he dies before I do. Yo, the little blue guys are not swag. I can't reach them anymore. Green, maybe the purple. Okay, yeah, perp. Ah, it's Puyo Puyo? Never heard of Puyo Puyo. It's a cute name. I think I'm bad at Puyo Puyo. I think I'm also bad at Tetris. Not as bad as him though. Shit. Tetris-like, but definitely not. Listen, it's just Tetris with bonus lack of shapes, perhaps? Perhaps, maybe? Sometimes I pull up a customer's details and call them, and the notes will say something like, "This person's awful and yelled at me, and threatening to sue. Only contact if you must." And it feels like an ancient warning sent through time from the damn souls of workers before. So yeah, those numbers are very scary. Have you ever, like, seen a detail like that? And then it was just like a chill fella. You're like, I really don't know what the problem was. Look, these bunnies are safe. These bunnies are not in purgatory. Sheesh. I liked the little mini game, the little Tetris Puyo thing. That was a lot nicer than a boss. Wait, this music is so swanky. Ah. Look, he's yawning. Cute. Alright. Pinkbot? Oh my god! I wanna buy a TV from Pinkbot. That's so cute. This is so swag. 10. Wait. That is so awesome. Wait, it says eggnog! Eggnog mention! Oh my god, we were just talking about eggnog. Man, I want those rings. There we go. This song is so good. Not confirmed! Not confirmed. Thank goodness. Hate to have an unconfirmed Nog. Yo! Ooh, I love a nice silhouette moment. Oh! Got my Jordans for today. Whoa. Where am I going? Wait, I'm going in circles. Let me up! Oh yeah, you got that. Cute. If Eggman did make the egg... Whoa. If Eggman did make the eggnog, would you drink it? Cute. Oh, it's an enemy. I was just content to bounce on him. Didn't even know he's bad like that. Sometimes they're actually okay to me, but you can always hear something in their voice that tells me if things aren't going their way, they would absolutely not be. Maybe it's in my head because of the note. No, I feel like once you worked in customer service enough, like you just kind of know if somebody's gonna be not receptive to hearing bad news. Like I feel like I dealt with so many ladies who like needed to do multiple returns. And it's like, I know in my head that they're not all gonna go through because they're like over the limit or something. It's like, man, they seem pleasant now, but I just know they're gonna bite my head off. And there's nothing you can do about that. Tails is so damn cute. Is it true that his name is actually Miles, or is that fake news? Dilsey said that his full name is Miles Tails Power? I think Power. And I never fact-checked her, but like I have no reason not to believe her. So I'm gonna say it's true. Oh, it's Prower. Prower? Like on the prowl? What do you think he's on the prowl for? Miles is such a good name. Never seen a bad Miles. I've never seen a Miles in general. Oh. Like I've seen characters and like authors named Miles. And I guess maybe like actors. But I've never seen someone in real life named Miles. I do think it's a nice name though. Oh my god, why did you do that? Yo! Ugh. That was not worth 10 rings. Oh, look at him go. Eat it up. Tails is actually a nickname, so it's Miles Tails Power? Wait, it's not his middle name? I thought it was. I always believed Ilzy. Real, me too. She's never led me astray. Never met a Miles SMH. I haven't. I don't know where all the Miles are at. Bro. Oh yeah, I've never met a Miles, but characters and celebrities, I guess. Surely that counts. Shout out to Miles Morales. What a cutie. They nicknamed him Tails because he has 2 tails. Is he, like, technically a kitsune? Or is he just, like, a mutant? Never met a Miles, but I would walk 500 of them. And walk 500 more? Is that from a song? Is that the Twilight song, or am I thinking of something else? How fast does he go? How fast does Miles per hour go? I sincerely wish I could tell you. At the end of Baby Driver, when you find out the baby's real name is Miles, I was like, wow. It all makes sense why he's so cool now. I haven't seen Baby Driver, but I think that's really funny. I think conceptually that sounds awesome. Oh wait, was there a thing down there? Go, 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 go. Oh, I thought this fragile sign was something. Google says two-tailed because of a rare genetic mutation. Also, miles per hour is just a pun for miles per hour? What? You didn't really have to tell me that. I would have been happy not knowing that. At least 60 miles per hour? Is it per hour like you're on the prowl? Like I'm on the prowl for a hot dog. I don't know. I don't know what you go on the prowl for. I thought that was just like a word. That's a great pun, I gotta say. Man, I guess it's a fine pun, but man, I think I could have lived with myself without knowing that. That's Prowler? It's not Prowl? Oh. The music's dying, the music's cooked! Oh, really? It sounds regular to me. What's wrong with the music? What if I mute it and then unmute it? It's so irregular. Is my voice irregular too, or is it just the music? Here. Prowl. Yeah, okay. Prowl makes more sense. Is this fixed? No, just the game is good now? Okay. I didn't do anything. I just pretended to do stuff. I'm glad it fixed itself. This game looks so cool. I need to see a movie that looks like this. Yeah, I really like this map. The chemical area, like the industrial area, oh my god, wasn't as interesting in my opinion. But this one kind of eats. Get me in there. It reminds me of a Cyber's World. What is that area called? Does that area have a name? I don't remember. But it kind of has that same riz. Just the game music sounds like the FPF is off or something. I have been told that sometimes my stream audio just like gets choppy, for a few minutes and then maybe not a few minutes, maybe like 40 seconds, and then it just fixes itself. And I really don't like, because it doesn't sound any different to me, so I really don't know how to fix that one. So my apologies. I think the casino stages are usually some of the favorites. There's a casino in this game. Sonic frequents the casino. Sheesh. Cybersworld? Cybersworld plays in Cyberworld? Oh. I didn't know if it had a funny name. It does, but it's more industrial than cyber, I think. I don't know, I like it. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh my god. He's so dizzy. Wait, how do I exit if these are all gray? Whoops. Wait, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Everything's gray. You can jump. Oh. Okay, well, I did not execute that. I didn't know I could jump. Kinda swag. I don't know about this one, but there are casino stages in a lot of Sonic games. I didn't know Sonic was chill like that. Whoa. Okay, I guess the... Okay, so the missiles are real and the Eggmans are part of the background, I guess? That was weird. Oh, I like the lights, camera, action. Okay. Focused. The Eggmen, like, don't look like they're part of the background. It kind of makes it difficult to focus. Oh my goodness. Oh, I also can't go forward that much. Darn it. Azumazu underscore went all in and lost every single one of their points. You are not cut out for the casino, my friend. I only have one life left. This kind of sucks. Never stop gambling is crazy. What kind of advice is that? Maybe you're cooking. Oh. Okay, maybe I can just helicopter over all of them. Oh wait, is he recording this? That's so cute. I like this little studio concept. Ah. Club Spin Ages. I'm gonna go to Club Spin Ages. What am I supposed to be doing? I can't bounce on the missiles. I don't know how to... No! I don't know how to deal damage. Maybe you just have to last a long time. 90% quit just before they make it big? Oh. I had no idea. Yo, that was sad. Whoops. Tails, can you please walk in? Whee! Blink. Could always go bigger. Gimbal all shoot. Well, shoot, when you put it like that, I'm convinced. Wow. Oh, please don't touch me. I don't like you. Okay, it's fine. Whoa! Whoa! Chill. Not chill. Studiopolis. This kind of reminds me of Roku City in a way. Maybe it's the color palette. Like the skyscrapers in the background. kind of awesome. Okay, I don't have a shield this time. Oh. Oh, okay. Got that dog in me. There he goes. Oh. Yo. Just looked up Roku City. We'll be moving there shortly. Oh. You're not a Roku City knower? Maybe it's just cause like Rokus are like popular here. I feel like I see them everywhere. But yeah, Roku City is kind of awesome. I would live there. But maybe I'm a fake fan. It's like I have a Roku, but I changed the theme off of Roku City to be pirate themed. I am not a real one. Yo! My sparkles. Oh, hell nah. Alright, well, I'm sparkleless. Now what am I supposed to do? Can I go this way? No. Yo! I swear I jumped. Yeah, it's too late. Man, Tails on top for real, for real. His little helicopter thing is so clutch. Oh my god, don't touch that. So slow and sad. You're not living up to the Miles Prower name. Oh, wait, Eggman has a director's chair? Oh my god. I wonder what he's directed. Didn't know he was chill like that. Big fan of streetwide bisexual lighting. It's very cinematic, I bet. Ugh. Yeah, you're so right. Man, I think street lamps should be nice colors. There's a street, like, somewhat by my old apartment. That was, like, you know, it has street lights. And all of them were white except for one that was randomly blue. And it felt so magical to be underneath the blue one. I feel like they should just all be blue. Be so awesome. The Miles... But it doesn't say how much. Yeah, it's like 15. Eggman won the Oscars? Sheesh, I didn't watch the Oscars. I had no idea. Wow, kudos to him. I hope he got flowers. Details the best character. Hi, Carl. I haven't played Knuckles yet. I've only played Tails and Sonic, but so far I think Tails kind of destroys. Like, it's not even a competition. He's so cute. Also, look at his... Oh. Wait, hold on. I have to be on solid floor. Look at his little duck animation. He's so cute. The best flex ever on the stream. Yo! Sigh. Man, if you hate me, just say that. Jeez. Wait, you know how we were looking for someone to beef with earlier? I think Kaya would be a good contender. Knuckles is pretty cool. Or sorry, fun. I don't know why I said cool. Maybe I was thinking cool. I think he looks cool. But is his duck animation cute? Why don't you like Sonic? Well, first of all, when he ducks, he covers his head like he's doing a tornado drill. And I think that's goofy as hell. But then also, he can't fly. And the flying feature is so clutch. And look at Tails' eyes. Look into his eyes. He looks kind of stupid. Look at him. It's just so cute. He's just a little guy. Everyone agreed he win. They felt bad because he misses his wife a lot. Oh my god. Am I playing as his wife right now? I'm happy for Tails. Do they do sympathy wins at the Oscars? Like, is that a thing that people suspect? I'm just saying, if there's tornado, Tails is getting flung. Yeah, that's true. But at least he looks cool doing it. Okay, don't even worry. I'm getting these blue spheres. Oh yeah. Man, I'm a pro gamer, huh? Oh wait, can I jump? Oh, I can't jump, slay. I didn't know if I jumped 1 square or 2. Oh. Well, good enough. They do legacy wins if that counts? What is a legacy win? Like, hey man, I know you came out with this movie like 5 years ago, but we actually changed our mind and we think you should have it now. I think Tails is Eggman's wife? That could be true, but it seems outrageous. I thought that was the meme. I thought the meme was I miss my wife Tails. Is that not real? But look at his little look up. Oh, he's so cute. Okay. Go. Oh. Okay. Go elsewhere. Legacy wins are like wins for people that have gotten a lot of nominations, but they never won until now. Wouldn't that feel kind of bad? Like, hey man, I know you keep getting nominated and we don't think you actually won, but since you keep getting nominated, like, you can have this. Is that what happened to Leonardo DiCaprio? I remember it's a meme a while ago that he, like, would not get an Oscar for some reason. I miss my wife, Tails. The comment? Oh, the comma is very important. I thought it was I miss my wife, Tails. Not like he was ranting to Tails. Leonardo DiCaprio, dude should have won his Oscar. Like his first movies, but he got it for Revenant? Oh. I never saw Revenant. But yeah, doesn't that kind of suck? Hi, Carrot. Thank you for the care package. Yummy. Okay. Tails whacked out on Eggman? That's why he misses his wife? What? I was thinking, like, Tails was the wife. Are you saying that's true and he walked out? I don't know. What? I don't know, but just looking at Tails, I would have to imagine he has higher standards than Dr. Eggman. But you know, I guess love makes people do some questionable things. I thought Tails was his wife? Domestic abuse side. Listen, I thought that was just the joke. Like, people were just like shitposting. They're like, I miss my wife Tails. And it's like, haha, that's goofy. Listen, I misunderstood the situation. But like, who is the wife? Who's wife? Oh, wait, what happened? Time over. I thought I turned the time thing off. They said you're yapping too much. Do it again. Ugh. Whatever. You're cooking? Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh. Wait, why am I at this part? Isn't this like the boss fight? Didn't I just do game over? It's not a real dialogue from a Sonic game? Yeah, so it is a shitpost, isn't it? So... maybe I'm not misunderstanding. Maybe you guys are. What? Can I jump on the blue ones? Oh my god. I really don't know what to do here. A lot of people say the director win this year was Legacy win. Those people are haters. They don't understand PTA like I do. What is PTA? Is that the name of a director? Okay. Let's see what we can do here. There's gotta be a reason why there's blue ones and red ones. Like, why would they make them different? Oh my god. Maybe just for style points. Ah. Okay. Okay, awesome. Wait, game options. Time limit off. Get that out of here. Paul Thomas Anderson, my second favorite director named Anderson. Oh, I've only heard of Wes Anderson. Never heard of the PTA. That's kind of cool. Man, I wish my initials were like what I went by. Maybe not actually. But that is some aura. Okay, I wonder if I can, like, low-key not worry about any of this. And just get right back to the battle. Get me out of here! Goodness. Parents and teachers don't really like him. I've heard of PTA, but I didn't know what it stood for. Is it Parent Teacher Association? Oh. Yo! Okay. Maybe this is fine. Oh. A little thing for me? A little thing for me, maybe? A little tasty treat? A little tasty treat for me? Oh, 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 oh. This song is so catchy. Oh. Yippee! Egg TV. What a nice logo. Yes, Parent Teacher Association. Makes sense. You should really make a movie about a PTA meeting where some crazy shit goes down and they all start fighting each other. PTA directed by PTA. I'm a genius. I gotta get this idea to him. My goodness, you really do. Are his movies known for, like, fighting? Or is that just, like, what you want to happen in an ideal situation? Oh, man. there's a thing up there. Oh well. Not my problem. I got places to be. Oh. Oh my god. I've never had so many rings before. Not all of them. Not like action movies, but usually some crazy dramatic shit going down. Drama in the... Ah! Man, you should not lose all your rings. So messed up. Oh, wait, you can break the blue ones. I thought I tried that before. Okay. Good to know. I don't know. I'm a really big fan of like high school movies, or like, I don't know, movies where the stakes are pretty low, but like the characters take it so seriously. Like a Greg Heffley kind of situation. I kind of eat that up. Oh, thank goodness there's rings there. Alright. This is going so good, I think. Okay, swag. You said you don't like anime like that though? Yeah, because I feel like in the animes, they're like actually being serious about it. But in like Diary of a Wimpy Kid, like it's kind of tongue-in-cheek. Like they know they're just being silly. I don't know. I think it depends on if it's ironic or not. No! Oh, man. I jumped on so many bombs. What is this? Ugh. Man, I low-key have plans in 15 minutes, but I really, really want to... Ah! I really want to get past this silly little level. Sonic has you held hostage. It's true. Well, I knew I had plans at 6 today. So when I was making my schedule, I was like, oh, I feel like Sonic is like, you know, there's not much of a story going on. It's just like a little platformer game, and I can stop whenever I need to. But I am feeling like I can't just stop now. I need to get that stupid little bald guy. Ah! It's okay. Surely my friends will understand. I can stop when I want famous last words. Guys, but for me, like I'm built different and it's actually real. Just stop now. No, but you don't understand. I'm so close. Ad time. Oh, hell nah. What do you mean ad time? Sigh. Alright. Go to ad jail. Go to ad jail, I guess. I'm gonna still keep playing Sonic though. Oops, sorry. Oh my god, Tails, don't get caught in the projector. Is that a thing that can happen? Can you get caught in a projector? What if it's like low-key awesome? If I was Sonic and I didn't have this helicopter tail, I don't really know how I'd get up. I guess you gotta bounce on these things. Oh. Oh, does it make that sound every time you get 100 rings? Well, I lost all of them. True. I don't care about him. It's expensive. Oh. I never considered that. How much is film? Is it not like digital? I guess I kind of imagined it was digital. He's gonna ruin it. He's just a little guy. He's just a little guy. I don't care about him or film. I just agree with Aphex. You know, kind of awesome. I get you. I get you. Yo! These stupid little camera bugs are not awesome. Most people shoot digital now. You shoot on film if you want to be fancy like my man's PTA. Oh, wow. Shout out PTA. The second best Anderson out there. Peeling. Am I supposed to go down or this way? Oh, maybe this way. That's so true. Me agreeing with Dilsey. You're agreeing with her about agreeing with you? That's kind of real. That's kind of real and awesome. Oh, no. What an interesting little emote you got there, Dilsey. Such a wide gap between your mouth and your eyes. Oops. I did that last time too. Okay. Wait, I think I'm at the part. Or like really close to it. I have to because if I don't... Yeah... He is ugly, but like... I feel like they're both kinda ugly. I'm not gonna lie to you. I kinda like him though. Which one? The text one or like the Twitch default one? Yes, okay. Okay, back in business? Back in business, doing good, perhaps? I kinda don't like him. There's no love in my heart for that creature. But the alternative, I must say, also not my favorite. Wait. The red ones keep lining up with the blue ones. How am I supposed to get the blue one? Oh, there we go. Swag. Frick you and your expensive film. Stupid eggnog. Is it because he's a robot? I like robots, I really do. Is that real? I feel like you like a select few robots. And then the rest of them, you might be kind of a hater. Is it a robot? I didn't know that. I thought it was just like a dude. A dude with purple ears. I could see it being a robot though. Okay. Swag? Question mark? Are we all good? Okay. Wait, helicopter down? Good? Good, great. All done? All done? Oh. Icy's playing Wuthering Waves, by the way. Is there a cage with creatures? Oh, thank goodness. Wait, Tails got through Act 1. That was Act 1. I thought Act 1 was the green area. Uh, wait, does it save here? Yo, wait, look at that screen. Egg TV. Wait, Egg TV is kind of cute. I have to imagine my progress is saved. I saw this one robot character the other day that seriously had me considering watching the whole show just because he looked really nice. Wait, what show was it? That's really changed opinion since a while ago. V3 has truly changed me. I have a robot son now. Aw, that's so sweet. I had to wonder, ... why V2 didn't change you. What's wrong with Chiaki, huh? Eyebrow emoji. You know that, like, that little meme reaction image of, like, the little brown dog with the long snout who's kind of, like, raising his eyebrow? Pretend I'm doing that right now. Pretend I'm doing that right now. Did that see my progress? No, it doesn't. I have to redo Act 1 again. Well, at least I know how to do it. That's a next time problem. First of all, Chucky was an AI, not a robot. I guess I don't really know what her body was made out of. I assumed her body wasn't. I don't know. I don't know what the difference is. The difference is. If you say so. If you say so, I guess I believe you. She's cute, but not my favorite. She's code. Is a robot not code? Is that not what a robot is? Anyways, I gotta go. Wait, look at his little finger waggle. This game is really cute. I feel like if I was like a youngin, I would probably play this game a lot. It's pretty good. My robot son is an actual real robot, and honestly, he's my second favorite character in the series now. Yo. Is he right behind Hero? That's kind of crazy. Is all code robot? Well, I imagine so, but I guess I don't really be knowing. He's just sassy. I don't know. But anyways, thank you all. Thank you all for hanging out. Thank you all for hanging out. I'll be live again tomorrow for Warframe fishing. Smirk emoji. So you can fish with me if you want. But I'm gonna raid Walt Squirrel Boy. Yarp. Yarp. Shout out Splingus for Sonic Mania. Very nice of him. Very good time. I'll probably play it again some other time. Here's some raid messages if you like them. And I'll see you when I see you. Goodbye everyone. Have a great day. Goodbye. Make sure you sleep enough and drink enough and eat enough protein for today. Make good choices. Be good. Bye.